welcome you inside Bulldog Stadium for a critical Mountain West Conference matchup as Fresno State battles UNLV. And hi, everybody. Glad you could join us. Alongside a former UCLA and NFL quarterback Tom Ramsey, I am Roy Philpott. And Tom, Fresno State in unfamiliar territory. They've lost 5 games in a row. UNLV's got a first-year head coach. They've got some energy. Bottom line is both teams need a win here tonight.
Well, they really do. Head coach from Fresno State, Tim DeRuyter, he has really been good at home. They've won 18 games and only 4 losses in his 4 years, and 2 of those losses have come this year. But he's also the only coach in America having to start 4 different quarterbacks, and it's a tough task to really get that done at that quarterback position. They're going with Kilton Anderson, second start of the year for him, and they're hoping, Roy, he provides a lot more energy than they've had in the past couple games and really provides a spark so they get some first downs.
And meanwhile for UNLV, the backup gets to start tonight as well. Kurt Palandek, his favorite receiver. Devontae Boyd's got a lot of upside.
Well, Devontae Boyd's one of the best in the whole conference, and a year ago he was one of the top receivers in the entire conference, almost 1,000 yards receiving. He had 980. He's averaging about 55 yards a game right now, but if you're Kurt Palandek, you have to stretch the field. You have to find Devontae Boyd numerous times and strike when the iron's hot. He's hot right now.
Tony Sanchez in his first season after a very successful stint at Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. 85-5 in his high school career. In fact, Tim DeRuyter, 4th season, won back-to-back Mountain West Conference championships in 2012 and 2013. Well, beautiful night in Fresno. Glad you could join us. This critical Mountain West Conference matchup. And the Rebels will receive the opening kickoff. Criswell back deep to receive. Well, a fast start imperative for both of these teams tonight. Both teams in search of some much-needed confidence. And a win this evening would go a long ways in getting there. Touchdown halfway through the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels from their 25. Tom, our first look at Kurt Palandek. The backup normally, Blake Decker's been injured. They're expecting him back in 2 weeks after an open date, and Palandek has put up some decent numbers. They want to see more from him this week.
Yeah, they really do. The other thing he provides, Roy, he's got a great set of legs, so he'll run the ball tonight as well.
Now Fresno State picked to finish 2nd in the Mountain West Division this preseason. Lost 5 in a row. The defense will try to set the tone here on this opening possession.
Yeah, I think in particular the defensive line gets the challenge tonight for Fresno State. They really have to hold the edge and find a way to slow down the UNLV running game.
Keith Whiteley in the backfield, a junior from Houston, Texas. The top 3 ground gainers for the Rebels, all from the Lone Star State, as he gets the carry on first down. Left side and short of the 30-yard line. The stop made by Camilli.
Now, Tony Sanchez, the first-year head coach, there's one thing that he likes to do. He likes to run the football. And he went out and got a really good coordinator in Barney Cotton out of Nebraska. Cotton, of course, serving as the offensive coordinator and an interim head coach for the Cornhuskers. So he brings a lot of running game prowess.
Gain of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6, just underway here in Fresno. And off of play action. Pass is caught. The dance by Williams crossing the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down and short after the stop made by Kyrie Wilson. Check that Criswell with the grab. And a critical 3rd down to open this game up for the Rebels, Tom.
Well, they work away from Devontae Boyd, who was doubled on the other side of the field. Criswell making a nice play, but short of the 1st down. But what it does is really allows UNLV a very manageable 3rd and 3.
See the numbers for Fresno State's defense. In desperate need of a stop here early. On deck with time, a quick strike. Caught. And he fights his way ahead. That'll be a 1st down. Drive continues on this opening possession as Whiteley makes the grab.
Boy, it was great effort. They end up, Palandek's able to spin the ball out. Gets pretty good protection, too. But that's just a great second effort right there to get the 1st down.
Now the Rebels averaging over 200 yards rushing per contest coming in. They want to try to ground and pound tonight. They also have to mix it up as well. This time it's Whiteley. Short of the 40-yard line, a pickup of 3 yards, and the tackle made by Nathan Madsen.
You know, going back to that first down throw, Roy, Andrew Price, the big tight end, a junior out of Washington, he allows a guy like Palandek, if you want to get a quarterback started early, find the tight ends, right? And they were able to do just that.
That was your big boost of confidence back in the day, wasn't it?
I always knew where the tight ends were. Now they don't play with tight ends.
And the fullback, the H-back, missing in action these days. Play action again, and the pass is caught. That's a first down approaching midfield. Grab for the Rebels after the stop by Wright.
I think one of the things that we found out in talking to the coaching staff, Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator for Fresno State, said our guys have to tackle better, right? You can't give teams second chances, and right there, that's a nice tackle from that safety position.
8th catch of the season for Anthony Williams, a senior from Brentwood, California. Palandek keeps a play alive, but loses a yard on the play.
So talking about escapability, Kurt Palandek, he can keep the play alive, extend it. Right there, one of the things, they did a nice job that time. The defensive line really did a nice job collapsing on the ball that time and stopping Palandek for actually maybe even a loss.
Todd Hunt with the stop. Proud father this evening. We'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. After the loss of one, it'll bring up 2nd down and 11. Opening possession of the ball game, and Palandek again finds a running lane and off to the races. Short of the first down mark, although he dives close. It'll be a gain of 9.
Just looks like the protection breaks down around Palandek, and again, he pulls the ball down. Great awareness by Kurt Palandek that time to get up the field, make something happen, and get really a nice gain of 10. Gives him a really 3rd and short.
The 8th play of the drive, 3rd down, and less than a yard. Whiteley, the handoff. He's got the first down and then some. Past the 35-yard line, finally brought down by Taekwon Glass after a pickup of 8.
Well, another element of the Fresno State Bulldog defense, Coach Nick Toth told us about. They're going to try and stay a little simpler. And really not disguise what they're doing defensively, but that can really hurt you, because if Tony Sanchez and Barney Cotton, the coaches on the Rebels sideline, start to understand they're playing against a vanilla defense, they're gonna take a shot or two deep.
This time out of the pistol formation for Palandek. Handoff far side, a short pickup. Xavier Campbell keeps the play alive. The power back, and a freshman out of Texas, finally brought down by Alan Wright.
I like Campbell. He is a big, strong young man out of the state of Texas, and he, again, breaking tackles, lunging ahead. Great second effort right there by Xavier Campbell, who had a nice game a week ago, rushing for over 250 yards on the season.
Line up in the power formation. Palandek under center on 2nd and short. Whiteley far side. Keeps the play alive and tiptoes down the sideline. Inside the 15, it'll be 1st and 10 for UNLV, and what has turned out to be an impressive opening possession. Gain of 12 yards brought down by Kyle Hendrickson.
So we talked about holding the edge, Roy, and the defensive line. There's a look at Nick Toth, the defensive coordinator. One of the things Toth said to us was, the defensive line's got to hold the edge. The defensive end has to hold his ground and fight off the blockers. And right there, the defensive end got washed out. They ran around in and got the first down.
Fresno State giving up over 200 yards on the ground. UNLV over 200 rushing, and having its way to the Bulldogs defense here. It'll be 1st and goal after another power run by Whiteley. Gain of 12 yards, Tom.
Well, UNLV, they showed this formation a lot last week against San Jose State in their overtime game. They just run a balanced offense, 2 tight ends, 2 wides, just an ace formation. And they just hand the ball off to Whiteley, and he just mows ahead. They have a first down inside the 5.
The opening possession of the ball game, 6 minutes in. Handoff, Campbell checked back in. And short of the goal line, it'll bring up second down. So Whiteley gets the breather. They'll bring in the power back. Try to finish the job.
They've kind of had their way with the Fresno State defense this drive.
Campbell remains in. Second down and goal. And the 13th play of this drive. Handoff, touchdown UNLV. And the Rebels right down the field. Pickup that time was by the big fullback. Now Fahu.
Who is their short yardage back. He was a tailback a year ago, converted to fullback this year with the introduction of all the young Texans in the lineup at tailback. And Fahu just doing a great job following his blockers, and credit the offensive line of UNLV. Boy, that's a nice drive.
Third touchdown of the season for the junior from right here in California. And Boardman on for the extra point. Kick is up, and that kick is good. And our new score with 8:24 remaining in the first quarter. The Rebels strike first, 7-0. And the big fullback, now Fahu, with the honors. UNLV wins the opening coin toss, goes straight down the field, and grabs the early 7-0 lead back here in Fresno. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott. 13 plays, 75 yards, Tom. 58 of those on the ground, led by the fullback for the final score there.
Well, I tell you what, when you're running the ball well, you're doing two things. You're gaining confidence in the offensive line, and you're running clock. And Tony Sanchez wants it to be a shorter game, and I think he wants to control that line of scrimmage. And it's a big challenge for Fresno State. They did not step up to the challenge on defense that last drive.
Boardman with the kickoff, a low liner. Fielded by Damari Scott at the goal line. He's got some jets. Sandwiched down, crossing the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 for Fresno State right there. And Tom, our first look at Kilton Anderson, the redshirt freshman from Naples, Florida. Made his first career start last week against Utah State. Struggled at times. But as we pointed out in the open, the 4th different signal caller to start for the Bulldogs this year. That's not easy to overcome.
No, and think about this for a moment. When he went into training camp this year, he was the number 4 guy on the totem pole. It wasn't like he was getting a lot of reps. Kilton Anderson, though, has done a great job. Coach Tim DeRuyter feels as though he can spark this team, and that's what they're hoping he does tonight.
The shotgun on 1st down. Fresno State wants to run it. Push the pile, crossing the 20. And a pickup of 5 yards is Martez Waller with the carry. That'll bring up 2nd down and 5. So if Fresno can get that kind of yardage on 1st down, that's a big plus tonight.
Well, it really is, and it's something they just haven't had recently. Martez Waller, 20 career touchdowns, and he had his first touchdown of the year last week, and it was their first rushing touchdown of the whole year.
4 wide receivers set, deep handoff, close to 1st down yardage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. You look at Fresno State struggling offensively. 20 of the last 29 possessions, 3 plays or less this season, Tom.
That's a great point, Roy. They haven't been able to get 1st downs, and they've struggled mightily.
Down to the contest for the Bulldogs, and there's a run by Anderson, and there he goes into UNLV territory. Finally shoved out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Torrey McTime finally with the stop, but it was after a pickup of 35 yards.
Well, offensive coordinator Dave Schramm, he dialed one up there. That's a great little zone read play, pulls it out. And Kilton Anderson, he's got great feet.
And going tempo, passes incomplete, looking for Keyshawn Johnson. The screen game is something the Bulldogs want to utilize tonight. Try to soften up a very aggressive UNLV defense.
That's one way to do it. Kilton Anderson might be a little tired from that big run.
Well, they told us yesterday, offensive coordinator Dave Schramm, they wanted him to run it more this week, and the opportunity presents itself. Took advantage in that last sequence on 2nd down. And he'll take advantage again. 1st down for Kilton Anderson. Needed to cross the 30. Looks like they'll mark him inches short after the stop by Blake Richmond.
Yeah, gets zone read. You just see pulls the ball out and then gets up the field, north and south. That's a nice play by Kilton Anderson. You got to remember, he's a young man. He's not played in the spread offense a whole lot. He was actually a veer quarterback for 2 of his 3 years of high school.
Another big third down coming up for Fresno State. They'll try the misdirection. There goes Waller inside the 15. That's a first down. And an outstanding play call that time by Dave Schramm, brought down by Richmond.
So it's a great little watch Martez Waller. He's going to delay, and then he's going to Kilton Anderson's going to roll and then give him the ball. It's more or less a delayed draw right there, Roy, and it's a great concept, and it gets everyone in pursuit, and then Waller comes back against the grain. Just a great play call and a first down for the Bulldogs.
Fresno State struggling with its offensive identity this year due to all the problems at quarterback. Finding creative ways to run it here. Stick with the hot hand. Waller brought down after a short pickup.
Well, you said it. They got to get Waller hot. I thought that's one of the things, and we talked about that yesterday after we talked to the coaches. Martez Waller is such a good back. He's rushed for, 2,657 yards in his career coming into this game, over 20 touchdowns. You got to find a way to get this guy loose. He's been a very powerful runner right there. Dave Schramm yelling some instruction into his offense.
Waller preseason all Mountain West Conference. Of expectations, and there he goes near side. Tackled short of the 5-yard line. Stop made by Vea.
I like they're trying to get around the right end. And Justin Northern, the big right tackle, he plays with great attitude. And, one thing, even though Fresno State's 1-5, Roy, Tim DeRuyter said, hey, our guys are humping it. They're working hard. And you know what? This is where it pays off, right? 3rd and 2.
Approaching 3 minutes to play in our first quarter. First possession of the ball game for Fresno State. And the quarterback keeper, Anderson, needs to cross the 4. He finds the end zone for the touchdown.
Boy, Kilton Anderson does a nice job there. Let's take a look. See if he might have been down. I think one of the backs went the wrong way, but then Kilton Anderson, he just played football right there. He lunges ahead. He's in the air. Ball crosses the plane. That's a touchdown.
That's a heck of a play by the redshirt freshman signal caller.
Great effort.
83 yards in 12 plays. A big boost of confidence for a Fresno State offense in search of its identity this season. Running on for the extra point. A fast start by both offenses.
And that's what both offenses needed. They needed fast starts. And Tim DeRuyter's fired up. And Kilton Anderson, he's going to be fired up too. Little dipsy-do right there. Ducks a blocker or two, gets in, touchdown, Bulldogs. Celebrate.
Back in Fresno, tied at 7. Dave Schramm talking with his quarterback, Kilton Anderson, during that last break. Xavier Campbell checks back in for UNLV on its second possession. Kirk Hollendeck, the signal caller once again. Handoff far side and crossing the 25. It'll be a short pickup on first down. Xavier Campbell, 5'11", 220 with power. They want to get him moved up tonight if they can, get him going.
Yeah, he's a big back, and he hits the hole so fast. It's a great compliment to Keith Whiteley. I think it's fantastic. And then Lexington Thomas, another freshman from Texas, he'll come in, and he's really a sideline-to-sideline guy. He'll stretch the field.
Campbell and Whiteley the backs. Second down and 7. Far side is Campbell. There's the power short of the 30. They'll bring up third down and short after the stop made by Jeff Camilli.
Camilli's such a good football player. true junior, Ponderosa High School down south, and I tell you what, he has a nose for the football. He's been playing he's a little banged up. All those guys, you get to this time of year, Roy, you see guys get banged up. Third down conversions on the year. UNLV 34% tonight, 2 for 2 thus far.
Lexington Thomas checks in at running back. He's got some jets. Palandek to throw, directing traffic. Pass is caught right at the stick. Close to a first down. Ederine with the tackle after the grab by Anthony Williams.
Again, what Palandek's able to do, extend the play, finds Williams just parked along the sideline. Surprised they didn't cover him up right there, especially as they went into the short sideline and should have had coverage.
One team on the field. Morgan Younger averaging over 43 yards per attempt this year. First punt of the ball game. Turns it over beautifully, and a fair catch caught and made at the 26. Punt of 45 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Roy, who was the last team to score on the Michigan Wolverines?
Well, after back-to-back-to-back shutouts, the Rebels of UNLV.
That's right.
Well done, my friend. Off of play action. Caught in the flats. And a leapfrog for the first down. Out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Brilliant play for the Bulldogs. Meisenheimer.
Doing a great job there. Malik Meisenheimer getting out of the backfield. A little waggle. And boy, he makes a great play, just hurdling the defender, but great timing that time by Kilton Anderson delivering the ball to Meisenheimer.
Anderson has been on point so far. Short pickup on first down.
Well, and the coaching staff talked about that, Roy, to us yesterday. They said, you know what, we feel like we're close. That's why we can treat our players with a great deal of respect, a lot of positive, vibe at practices. The players are working hard, and there's great senior leadership. That's the recipe of having a really good football team.
Martez Waller's rush will be the last play of the first quarter. Both teams reaching pay dirt as we're tied at 7. Here in Fresno, let the fireworks begin. Both teams in desperate need of a victory, in desperate need of finding their offense. So far, so good. You got a good one. Start of the second quarter, tied at 7. Back here in Fresno, California, Bulldogs and the Rebels. Anderson back on the field. College football finale presented by Jimmy John's. Roy Philpott, Tom Ramsey here with you on a perfect fall evening here in the Sunshine State. Probably not the most talkative player on this Bulldogs club. There's the slant. There's the first down as he spins his way ahead, crossing the 25. McTire finally makes the tackle, but after a gain of 17, Damari Scott with the catch. Tom, we talked about the 4 different quarterbacks starting, the only school in the country to have to face these kinds of odds this season.
Boy, it's a tall task, too, when you have to play 4 guys by midseason.
Off the zone read, the fake, Anderson. Gain of 9.5 yards on first down. Brought down by Tim Huff.
Now take a look, even though it doesn't matter who's at quarterback, when you have quick feet at that position, it'll help you. And all 4 quarterbacks are good. 2 of the 4 got hurt. They got down to Kilton Anderson by way of injury, but and a little bit of ineffectiveness by Zach Greenlee, the backup tonight.
Waller far side, dances his way forward. He'll lose a yard. We're down in 2 coming up.
I think this is where you want to be if you're Fresno State. 3rd and short, you have a run-pass option. You can do a lot of things with Kilton Anderson. We've seen him tonight pull the ball out on zone read, get some big chunks of yardage, but he's also thrown out of the formation too. And again, if you're going to throw Jameer Jordan, number 2, he's your guy. He's in the slot to the far side. I think the defense always has to keep their eyes on him.
Johnson, top of your screen. You have to wonder if this is 4 down territory. Handoff Waller with real estate towards the end zone. Touchdown. From 17 yards out of the Bulldogs, back out in front. Extra point to come.
Well, Roy, we're talking about Jameer Jordan being a great player, and you're going to see once the ball comes into Waller's hands, he's going to run, and look who gets the block downfield. It's Jameer Jordan. Clears the way for number 33, Martez Waller. That is great downfield blocking by the receivers.
Second touchdown of the season. Extra point is up. It is good. Our new score with 6:11 remaining in the first half. Fresno State with a touchdown lead against UNLV. And a big score here for Martez Waller, the senior. Bulldogs with their first lead since back on September 19th against Utah. That was 3-0 early in that one. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott back with you. That last scoring drive beginning in plus territory. Martez Waller, the senior, his second rushing touchdown of the season. And you can sense Fresno State finding a rhythm, Tom. Also maybe finding some much-needed confidence tonight.
I think it's a good point. I think they're looking. I think they were searching for it coming into the game, and they are tapping into it now.
Kickoff by Swanson. Fielded at the 2. Stacked up at the line. Pick up a yard and a half. Christophers. The initial contact against Keith Whiteley. Now, Whiteley certainly has the bloodlines. His uncle Antonio Armstrong played at Texas A&M, then went to the NFL. His father Keith was also a letter winner at Houston. There's Devontae Boyd, who has been strangely quiet this evening. Facing man coverage, and he gets the target. The throw is not in time. Third down.
Well, they came with blitz that time, Roy. They actually tilted. They tilted coverage his way, and then they left Devontae Boyd with the top man-to-man player for Fresno State, Tyquan Glass. That's exactly what Nick Tote, the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, wants. He wants to man up right there and put his best on their best.
Rebels 2 for 4 on third down tonight from the pocket. And the pass is going to be caught in Fresno State territory. And there's Boyd with his first catch of the ball game, a big one at that. Kelly brings him down, but not after a pickup of 15.
No, he's been targeted the last 2 plays. This is a heck of a throw. This is a fastball. Palandeck, and that's just a fantastic catch by Devontae Boyd. Caught a 22-yarder last week against San Jose State. They're starting to find their rhythm as well, but that's a heck of a catch.
From the 49-yard line, approaching 4 to play in our first half. Here comes the pressure. Near side handoff goes the opposite direction to Whiteley. Plows his way ahead close to another first down, brought down by Ederine. Got Campbell with the carry. They interchange those running backs seamlessly so far tonight.
Yeah, UNLV. Yep, sorry, Roy. UNLV, when they're starting to get good push as well, their offensive line. And that's when that running game starts to click, when they move those defensive players off the line of scrimmage.
Whiteley back in. Needed a yard. He'll pick up 2. The drive continues. Brought down by Kyrie Wilson. The Rebels showing physical offensive line on this drive. Lexington Thomas checks in, who's very proficient in the fly sweeps this season for Tony Sanchez's club. No flank Palandeck in the backfield. There goes Thomas. Gain of 3 yards. As time winds down here in our first half, Camilli with the tackle.
Yeah, 250 and winding down. Rebels still with all of their, actually they have all 3 of their timeouts left.
And Tom, this is kind of the game we expected. Lower scoring, very physical. This time flush from the pocket on second and long. Palandek smartly gets out of bounds. Well, Palandek's done a really good job managing this first half so far, Tom.
He has, and I don't think managing's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing in how you referenced it, because he has done just that. He's gotten the ball to his playmaker, and he's tried several times. Boyd coming up with a big catch on this drive, and then they've done a good job at the line of scrimmage. They're starting the offensive line doing a good job inside. Will Kreitner, the center, I like how he's played tonight.
16 remaining. 13th play of the drive coming up on 3rd and short. Needed the 16. Whiteley with the carry and the first down, brought down by Ederaine.
And again, we talked about the tackling. The tackling has to be good for Fresno State. Allen Wright, the free safety, came up. He had a chance to hit the ball carrier in the backfield. Didn't wrap up. Whiteley, again, getting ahead, getting the first down.
It's Williams in motion. Palandek with time towards the end zone. Boyd. And it's in and out of the midst. 2nd and 10 coming up. Pretty good defense there, Tom.
Great defense, and I thought it's a great throw, too. Devontae Boyd does a great job on the release. He gets up the field past the defender. Glass, their best man-to-man defender. The ball is thrown, well, almost perfectly. It kind of ran him out of bounds, but I thought it was a pretty darn good throw. But Glass, credit him, too. That's good mano-a-mano defense.
Great matchup for most of the night. Glass, the junior from Pasadena. Palandek with all kinds of time to the end zone. Has a man breaking open. Touchdown. And he brought it in for the score. Kendall Keys with the grab.
Boy, you know, if the last throw was pretty good, this one's a great throw. Palandek rifles a deep corner. Kendall Keys out of Helix High in San Diego. Nice corner route, ball's right on the mark.
Right over the shoulder of Allen Wright, the junior strong safety. Keys reaching pay dirt for the first time this season. He's got to be excited about that.
Got his second leading receiver coming into the game tonight, but his first score on the season, and he's a real nice compliment to Devontae Boyd.
Extra point on the way. It is up, and it is good. Well, an eventful first half in the books. We are tied at 14. And Fresno State with the option to receive the second half kickoff. Tony Sanchez in search of win number 3 in his first season in Las Vegas. Now, much more headed your way. We'll take you to the studio for the college football halftime report with Adnan Virk, Joey Galloway, and Danny Cadell coming up after this break.
Tied at 14 between the Bulldogs and the Rebels. And hi, everybody. Once again, Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott here with you. Tom, Fresno State finding some rhythm offensively in that first half. UNLV matched it finally at the end of the second quarter.
Fresno State got some good momentum in that first half, Roy, and I was impressed with Kilton Anderson. He did a good job stepping up and really being the spark plug for that offense, and that's exactly what they were looking for. We're tied up at 14.
Fresno State will receive the second half kickoff. 3 yards deep. They'll kneel it down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their 25. Now look at the numbers so far for these signal callers. Very similar. Both guys also establishing themselves on the ground, but more for Anderson than Palandek. Which one of these quarterbacks can manage this game in the final 2 quarters? Going to go a long way to seeing who's going to win this one tonight.
I think so, and I think both are very comparable right now. Numbers were pretty even, as you pointed out, and I think that, you know, from them sparking their respective teams, I think both guys are doing exactly what their coaches wanted them to do. Of course, the second half is going to be big for both, and I think it's a little bigger for Kilton Anderson. I think he's really got to show what he's made of the second half for Fresno State.
From the 25 on 1st down. Play action. Anderson with time down the field. Overshoots Jameer Jordan. Now the play selection in that first half, as expected. Tim DeRuyter wants to run it. UNLV does as well. And dominated on the ground, as you see there, Tom.
And I think it's a good balance. It's not a 50-50 balance. Neither team is really looking for that either, but they're both heavy rush teams, and they want to be heavy rush teams. They want to try to work the clock a little bit. I think in the first half, you know, what was really impressive, UNLV 11 first downs and Fresno State 10 first downs. That's more than their last 3-game average.
Also very productive on third. The deep handoff to Waller. And he'll lose 2. Waller sandwiched behind the line. Mike Hughes Jr. with the tackle. It's 99 in white.
Mike Hughes is a great player, and you know, sophomore out of Palo Verde High, Las Vegas, and you know, he has NFL written on him. And I'll say this, Tony Sanchez, when he came in, he had some good players in the shelf. He had some good players that were part of that previous staff's recruiting years, and it shows.
Third down, Anderson nowhere to run. And lassoed at the line of scrimmage. In fact, he'll lose a yard. Tony Sanchez will take that defensive stop to begin this second half.
Yeah, anything to turn the field, right? If you're able to stop your opponent, and in fact, Fresno State lost 4 yards on the drive, puts them in a hole.
First punt of the game for Swanson. Fair catch made by Keith Whiteley. So 49 yards on the punt. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. In a tie ball game, both teams in desperate need of picking up that ever-elusive conference victory. Whiteley in the backfield with Palandek. Near side gain will pick up 4. Claudell Lewis with the tackle. A lot of times, Tom, you hear coaches talk about the first 5 minutes of that second half. It applies basically in all sports. In football, you can make this statement first.
Well, and what's interesting about those first 5 minutes is you can see what adjustments they made at halftime. So they're going to go in and say, hey, we're getting this look on first down, we're getting this look on third down, and make those changes appropriately into that second half.
Personal gain of 4. Palandek. With some daylight, he's got the first down. Crosses the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Tackled by Charles Washington.
This is what Barney Cotton likes about Kurt Palandek, his legs. He's able to get ahead quickly. And I think one of the things Fresno State talked about at halftime, I guarantee it, they talked about tackling back. Because there were some times where they had some opportunities to make plays in UNLV's backfield. Tim DeRuyter looking up at the clock, but they have to tackle well this second half.
11 yards on the play. Trying to set up the screen. Basically had to shovel that one out of there. The pressure by Nathan Madsen.
And the only reason they don't call a grounding on this is Xavier Campbell, the running back, was within the vicinity, at least the zip code. But great pressure that time by Madsen. He's playing with a bummed up knee, too.
Make it 2nd down and 10. First possession of the second half for the Rebels. 2-11 a year ago. Already 2-4 this season under first-year head coach Tony Sanchez. Dumped out of the flats ahead to the 50-yard line. Stop made by Bailey. It's Keith Whiteley once again.
They like James Bailey, the true freshman out of Austin, Texas, Lake Travis High, and he does a great job reading the flat. They end up spinning the ball out to Whiteley, and he breaks on the ball, and pretty much it's a short gain for UNLV. But James Bailey, you're going to hear a lot of his name, I think, in the second half. He's a really active player and kind of forced into playing more this week with Brandon Hughes. The injury to him, he had an ankle.
3rd down, out in the flats again with some speed as he tiptoes his way into plus territory. And now UNLV in business. Alan Wright finally brought down Lexington Thomas.
This is a great block on the near sideline on Jamal Ellis, the corner, the boundary corner that time. And, you know, that's what I'm talking about. You got to get off the blocks. You got to shed, but, you know, credit UNLV, too. That's just great personnel and great blocking, good play calling out in front. Kendall Keys with the block.
Under 39, a big hole and some real estate. into the red zone, and the Rebels in business. Lewis makes the stop, and Keith Whiteley now, after a 20-yard gain, starting to find his rhythm.
Yeah, just straight ahead pretty much. Little trap up front. Not great tackling. Again, he gets out of the grasp of Jeff Camilli, and Camilli doesn't miss a lot of tackles. That's just good hard running.
12 carries, 80 yards, nearly 7 per attempt. And Whiteley spins his way down to the 15. So perhaps a statement drive here for UNLV, physical at the point of attack, and Whiteley doing a lot of the damage for Tony Sanchez's club.
Yeah, and Jeff Camilli didn't miss him that time. He got his hands on Whiteley, but I think we noticed something here. They picked up the tempo a little bit, and I think they just want to continue to grind the ball, tackle to tackle inside. That's what they want to do to start of the second half.
Handoff Campbell. As he leapfrogs one defender, he'll lose yardage. A flag on the field, and it comes in late. Stop made by Jamal Ellis. And Tim DeRuyter wondering, what could the penalty be? It was deep in the Fresno State secondary.
Personal foul. Defense no number 10. After this to the goal. Automatic first.
Otukolo, a freshman from Las Vegas. Played for Tony Sanchez in high school. Big penalty right there, Tom.
Yeah, Naila, they expect big things from him right there. You know, when you cost your team.
First down and goal from the 2. Xavier Campbell pushes the pile, no indication yet. And there it is, the touchdown for the Rebels, and UNLV back out in front.
Xavier taking the handoff from Kirk Palandek. Xavier Campbell, true freshman out of Bel Air High School, Bel Air, Texas, and launching his 220 pounds over the goal line for the score.
The Rebels strike first. 11-play, 70-yard drive. Nikolai Boydnan's extra point is good. Our new score, 21-14, 9:05 remaining in the third quarter. The Rebels excited about the possibilities, trying to pick up their 3rd win of the season. And a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Jordan in motion, gets the handoff. And a great tackle behind the line. So Fresno State trying to find some creative ways to run the football again. And Blake Richmond will have none of that.
Boy, a really good play that time by Blake Richmond. Again, another veteran player on that Rebel defense, coming from the safety position, and quite the hitter at 6'3" and 205 pounds. Jordan felt that one.
You can sense momentum in this football game, starting to switch over to UNLV. 2nd and long. Anderson nowhere to run. Tackle behind the line.
Well, they're looking to different guys to make plays, and right now they're starting to make plays.
Logo with the sack. Tom, you really like watching UNLV's front 4 on film before this game, and right now starting to assert themselves.
I did like them, and I like the 2 inside linebackers, but right there, Jeremiah Valonga really coming upfield that time, doing a nice job for that Rebel defense.
Loss of 5 on the play. Anderson out of the shotgun. All kinds of time. There's a penalty flag on the field in the area of holding. Pass caught short of the first down as Waller makes the catch.
Holding. 74 offense. Penalty decline. 4th down.
Jacob Hicks, the backup guard. And the punt team back on for Tim DeRuyter's team. Well, he's in his 4th season. He won back-to-back conference championships, 2012, 2013. trying to rebuild it, if you will.
Yeah. How soon they forget when you have to play 65 freshmen and sophomores. You don't like to rebuild the beginning or middle of the season.
Back-to-back possessions, 3 and out for the Bulldogs. And the punt will be fair, caught by Keith Whiteley. Punt of 50 yards, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels, who lead it by 7. And we come back. Back in Fresno, UNLV with the lead and possession of the football.
Yeah, UNLV has started off the second half very well, shutting down Fresno State on 2 series and then having a nice series of their own, going over 70 yards for a score to start the second half.
Double tight end formation. Play action with Whiteley. Allen Deck with time. And the pass is incomplete near side, trying to find Boyd. Now UNLV averaging 45 run plays per game versus just 25 attempts through the air. And got to think right now they love to ground and pound, chew some clock, and really put Fresno State in a bind.
Yeah, Fresno State has been in a bind thus far this season, Roy. When they get to third down, they give up almost 54% on third down. So that's why if you're UNLV, you want those third and manageables. That's why you got to get gains on first down.
Halfway through the third quarter. Far side run, Whiteley. And a short pickup.
So this is an opportunity for the Fresno State defense right now. 3rd and about 7. And you have a chance, right? If you can wrap up, make a tackle. They do want to zone blitz at times. And I think they got to bring a little more pressure on Palandek, but you got to watch Palandek and his ability to run on third down.
Rebels 6 out of 8 on third down tonight. They need 7 here. Across the middle and batted down. And nearly picked off by Jeff Camilli. Has 1 interception this season. Probably should have had another one right there, Tom.
Nice play. Yeah, you know, the ball, it's a fastball. Camilli, he just was able to get one hand up on it, but did a great job timing his jump, and they needed a play to spark him on defense.
Younger back on to punt this one away. Damari Scott back deep to receive. So the Fresno defense holds. One of the biggest plays of the game so far. Scott, a running grab, and he coughs it up. He muffed the punt. And the Rebels indicate they have it, and indeed they do. So the punt for 36 yards, but a costly turnover for Fresno State.
A short punt will be lethal at times, and in this case, a lot of times it's a short punt hurts the kicking team, but in this instant, it really hurts the receiving team. Damari Scott just should have let it go, but I think I know why he didn't let it go. He had a blocker out in front of him, and he probably thought it was going to hit the blocker, and he just went ahead and, you know, just fair catch it, get underneath it.
Well, a big night for Kendall Keys continues. A touchdown in the first half, recovers the fumble there. And a costly miscue by Damari Scott.
Kendall Keys stepping up, playing a little special teams.
From the 30-yard line, UNLV with a touchdown advantage and with possession once again. Center step by Lexington Thomas as he crosses the 30, a gain of 1. So the Fresno defense, once again, Tom's got to stand tall.
Yeah, they got to be getting tired by now. You know, time of possession, you got to get the Fresno State offense has got to get back on the field and put a drive together, get the defense off the field, give them a rest. But, you know, if you're UNLV right now, you know, I take a shot at the end zone. I would try to get Devontae Boyd or Kendall Keys free and see if you can't get man-to-man coverage on one side or the other.
2nd down and 9. Xavier Campbell, nowhere to run. Stacked up in the line of scrimmage. Dalen Jones comes up from his strong safety spot.
Yeah, we knew those safeties were going to be more active in the run game. They really want to shut down the run of UNLV. They want to stack the box. They want to make Palandek throw. But where Palandek has been effective tonight has been sometimes on third down with his legs, moving the pocket.
Rebels 6 out of 9 on third down. And they need 9 here. Valadek with time towards the end zone, looking for Boyd, and he's got the touchdown.
Complete to number 83, Devontae Boyd. For the touchdown.
That's what an all-conference wide receiver can do for you. Boyd from 29 yards out.
Well, on 3rd and 9, it's a heck of a throw. And Palandek puts his foot in the ground and then just throws a strike down the field. Devontae Boyd beating his man. Looks like
Tank Kelly.
Yeah, going against Tank Kelly, and he just really ran by him. That's not the matchup you want if you're Fresno State. You'd rather have Taekwon Glass over there with Devontae Boyd. Devontae Boyd using his veteran prowess there.
Second touchdown toss of the evening for Kurt Palandek, and just like that, the Rebels doubling up Fresno State. Devontae Boyd, all Mountain West Conference performer, with the honors once again. Back in Fresno, Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott, glad you could join us tonight. 5:13 remaining, third quarter, 28-14. 3 plays, 30 yards after the fumble recovery by Kendall Keys. And Devontae Boyd, the touchdown grab. Rebels with all the momentum. Some hesitation out of the end zone. Tackled at the 21. Was good enough for the first down. Drive continues. And the spin move. Gain of 14 yards. Damari Scott tries to make amends for that fumble just a few minutes ago.
Well, I think that's what they need to do right now. Get Kilton Anderson, give him a little time. He can put the ball on receivers. He's good and accurate.
Now go tempo. Caught by Johnson. Dances his way for another first down. And into UNLV territory. So a spark finally for this Fresno State offense after a gain of 16.
Boy, that's a nice catch. Did he go down early? That's the question. He put his arm down. Oh, nice job putting a hand down, staying up.
Quick snap. Anderson out in the flats to his tight end, Chad Olson. Makes a nice move, keeps the play alive, and a pickup of 13 yards.
Here's part of the challenge, Roy, in that they're not operating with a full deck of cards, right? Dave Schramm, the offensive coordinator, I asked him how much offense do you really have in for Kilton Anderson? About 50%. And you know, you just can't dial up the plays that you want to get to if you had a veteran quarterback. And no slide against Kilton Anderson. He's doing a great job tonight getting the ball to spread out to different receivers.
Lofted down the field again, and it's incomplete. Dave Schramm told us yesterday Anderson actually received probably 5 or 6 snaps going back to fall camp during its entirety. So this is a guy that they weren't counting on to play at all.
During the whole 30 days of camp.
Yes.
He gets like 5 or 6 plays. Just like, whoa. That's not a lot. But again, veteran coaching staff, they know how to handle it. This drive right now, super important to get, I don't think, not only points, not 3, they need 7 here.
Something to turn the tide. Good pass. He's tipped at the line, trying to find Johnson.
Mike Hughes, big defensive tackle, playing in that end, in that 30 defense in front, able to jump over a guy cutting him and bat the ball and redirect the ball for an incompletion.
3rd down and 10, and a big play for Fresno State, trying to scratch and claw their way back in it. Anderson with time. Has a running lane. And just squared up inside the 30. Throws it away late. All kinds of pressure. Motulele led the charge that time for the Rebels. And so Anderson found a way to somehow get that football out of there.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear what the referee said. He did say something. Coach Dave Schramm, not real happy. I thought what happened, I thought it was a coverage sack. I really did. I thought that was the best coverage of the night. They locked guys up. Not one guy came free. And maybe Schramm was saying, hey, throw the ball away sooner.
44-yard attempt on the way. And it is good. Cody Cronin. Like the long kicker from 44. And Fresno State on the scoreboard after Camacho's field goal. Jimmy Camacho from 44 yards out. Fresno State back on the scoreboard for the first time in our third quarter. 28-17. Tom Ramsey, Roy Philpott here with you. Back in the Sunshine State, and Dave Schramm still talking with his quarterback, Hilton Anderson. You see the scoring drive. Bulldogs found a little bit of rhythm there.
They did. 11 plays, 52 yards. I think it was really important to come away with points. I thought more importantly they needed a touchdown, but you know, the fact you get on the board and you get some production out of that drive, and it wasn't a pretty drive. That's Dave Schramm's over there going, listen, it could be a whole lot prettier. Kilton, are you hearing me? I'm sure he's saying that because if he makes the right read, they don't have to go scramble around.
And the kickoff hammered through the back of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels. Alan Deck back in at quarterback. And Miley with the jump, make that gamble on the carry up to the 30.
And speaking of Trent Dilfer, he played his college ball right here at Fresno State.
That's right.
How about that?
Love it how you tie everything together.
Yeah, it all comes back
True
around.
pro, Tom Ramsey.
You got to stay with me, Roy. You got to stay with me.
Just riding the coattails. See the numbers for Campbell. After a 5-yard gain. There's Dilfer. The 12 retired here at Fresno State. Tipped to the line. That could have been disaster for the Rebels. James Bailey. And also Todd Hunt getting the pressure.
Well, we knew James Bailey. We'd call his name a few times. Again, a true freshman making plays. And he normally got about 30 plays a game. Well, all of a sudden, forced into service. Hey, guess what, James Bailey? You're playing the whole game tonight.
7 out of 10 on 3rd down as UNLV. Out of the flats. Needs to get to the 35. He'll be stopped short. And Jamal Ellis prevents the 1st down. So a big stop for the moment by the Fresno State defense.
Boy, they stepped up right there, and they swarmed on the ball. They got hats on the football. 5 guys on the tackle. That was good defense. Good defense by Fresno State. They finally got after it. Ellis doing a good job, as you said, right on the boundary.
Back deep to receive this Logan Yunker punt. Damari Scott fumbled it away moments ago, and it cost his team 7.
Another short kick.
We'll take a Rebels bounce inside the 25. Finally down to the 22. Punt of 43 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for Fresno State. We've seen the Bulldogs take a couple of chances, a couple of shots down the field in this quarter. See if they continue down that path. 4-man front for UNLV. A patient run by Waller. Results in a decent gain on 1st down. Brought down by Lotulelei.
And one of the things I saw on the sideline a few moments ago when Dave Schramm was talking to the offensive players, I saw him go over to Jameer Jordan and talk to him about route running. And I saw, you know, hey, you need to bend it this way. I think they're going to try and get him the ball from that inside slot and see if he can't do some damage on the Rebel to secondary.
Jordan, just a freshman. Pitch and catch. Josiah Bland in the grab, brought down by Huff. And that's good enough for another Fresno State 1st down.
Well, Blandon's been a good, consistent receiver tonight for the young quarterback. Runs a good route, shows his numbers back to the quarterback, and I believe, yep, they did get enough for the 1st down. It was close.
Time winding down into the 3rd quarter. And the Bulldogs run one more play. with time down the field, and it's caught. What a dangerous throw. Chad Olson makes his second reception of the ball game. And the Bulldogs in Rebels territory. Fresno State trying to end a 5-game losing streak. It trails UNLV by 11. Bulldogs faithful hoping for some fourth-quarter magic when we return. Now the fourth quarter begins. 28-17 our score. The Rebels leading Fresno State. And the end around. Here comes Jordan once again with some daylight. And a pass to the end zone, shoved out of bounds, short of the 10-yard line. But Jameer Jordan making a play for his team when they desperately need it.
Boy, what a great time to call a reverse again. And what happens, Jordan, as he's run down the sideline, he steps out of bounds, and the side judge catches it. I believe they called him out at the 12.
Gain of 25 yards.
Boy, but he was running full speed. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if he was out. Close.
A critical possession right now for the Bulldogs, trailing by 11. Zone read. Anderson, touchdown.
Well, and I think they're calling for 2 on the sideline. They're calling for 2 because it is a 2-score game right there. Kilton Anderson, you know what he does right there so well? He followed his blockers and he set up the blocks. And then he just put his foot in the ground, cut up inside for the score.
Now a 2-point conversion would make it a field goal game.
Yep.
Trailing by 5 with just over 11 to play. You like this call here?
I do. I'd go for 2 as well here, and just get it closer, right? Then the pressure goes back onto UNLV. Tim DeRuyter wants to win the game. He's not playing for any ties. He's playing for wins.
A 12-yard touchdown run by Kilton Anderson, his second of the night. Now the Bulldogs will go for 2. Waller in the backfield.
All right, you got Jordan there. Keep an eye on him.
Play action. Back in the end zone, and it's picked off. Intercepted. Tim Huff with a convoy. Finally brought down to the 45. The touchdown will make it a 1-score game. UNLV still leads by 5. Just over 11 minutes to play here in Fresno. Now Kilton Anderson, one of 4 different quarterbacks to start for the Bulldogs this year. His second touchdown of the night. And a big play for Fresno State. Trying to find Jordan in the back on the 2-point play. Nothing doing. 28-23 our new score. Fumble on the kick return. It'll be down. First down carry will go for a yard, maybe 2. Stopped by Ellis.
Now the clock becomes a factor for Fresno State. If you want to get back in the game, you've got to make a stop here. Get the ball maybe at midfield, a little past, and still have some clock in order to run some offense.
On deck under center, deep handoff. Campbell. Pick up another yard. The stop made by Todd Hunt. Todd Hunt, a brand new father. Jackson James Hunt was born at 6:05 yesterday, 8 pounds 3 ounces. Very excited as his son and his. There's a look at James, Jackson James rather. And congratulations to Todd and Michelle. After making the big stop, 3rd down and 7. With time, Palandak down the field and incomplete. Ellis in coverage against the tight end, Andrew Price.
And they brought in Andrew Price. They kind of snuck him on the field. It's hard to sneak a guy 6'6" and 260 on the field, but they tried to get a mismatch and throw it up the sideline. And again, Palandak gets to go over and greet Tony Sanchez and Barney Cotton. I'm sure that's probably a little tough over there.
Rebels still have the lead by 5. Approaching 4.5 minutes to play. Another short punt. Amari Scott in traffic. And Fresno State now with an opportunity after a 39-yard punt. So the Bulldogs defense, one of the unsung heroes this evening, considering the special teams miscues and everything else, Tom Ramsey.
The defense and also the punter, Garrett Swanson, they actually gained field position on that exchange of downs. And I credit the punter. Garrett Swanson's had a nice night tonight. He ran a fake for a first down in the first half. But that field position swing means everything, Roy, because now they're real close. They're at the 44-yard line, their own 44, 3 timeouts. You can run your whole offense. You need 6 points, but it's achievable. And that's what you want to be in. You want to be playing for the win in your last possession.
Short of the 44-yard line. With time, Anderson rifles one. Far side, and it's caught, a gain of 8. McTire with the tackle on Keyshawn Johnson.
Yep, smart play. They work the sideline. Again, Anderson, just a bullet. And to Keyshawn Johnson right along the sideline. Nice play right in front of the Rebel bench.
Into UNLV territory.
The big question coming into tonight, could Fresno State muster enough offense to have a chance? The answer so far is yes. 2nd and 2. Anderson with time down the field and nearly picked off. Blake Richmond probably tell you he should have caught that one.
Blake Richmond, number 2.
You know, again, that was one of those fastballs. I thought Kilton Anderson did a great job just getting the ball off. He had a lot of pressure. Blitz came, and that's how close it was. It's like, what happened?
Shielded by the umpire momentarily as well.
Yeah.
This was intended for Jameer Jordan. 3rd down and 2. Late handoff. Gain of 6 yards, so have the first down.
Smart makes a play call that time. Dave Schramm has really done a nice job. There's a look at Dave Schramm right there, who's very capable of becoming a head coach in this league. He's very familiar with the league. I think if, you know, here's a guy, when you give him the right tools, he can pretty much dial it up against a lot of different teams.
Fresno State, Rebels territory. The 42, trailing by 5. With plenty of time to work with. Hardaway dives ahead. And he'll pick up about 4 on first down, brought down by Tim Huff.
Delvin Hardaway, Dorsey High School, sophomore, redshirt sophomore out of Los Angeles. Well, what a great effort that time. Just refusing to go down.
Bulldogs desperate for a win. They've lost 5 in a row after a season-opening victory against Abilene Christian.
And if you don't get the first down here, Roy, you're probably going to call timeout.
With time, looking for Hardaway, and it's incomplete.
Unless you're throwing incomplete, and the clock stops.
Tire in coverage. Is on Hardaway like a blanket. 3rd down and 6, so you got to be thinking you got 2 plays to try to pick this up.
Yeah, you have no guarantee of a last possession. I think this is your last possession. I think you're in 2-down territory to get 6 yards, and you don't have to get all of it right now. But if you're Kilton Anderson, you want to get all 6 here.
Waller, the handoff with real estate. Martez Waller off to the races. Touchdown.
Well, Martez Waller went over 100 yards. He is now 5th on the all-time list. He did that earlier tonight for Fresno State. It appears they're going to go for 2 as well, but boy, I like the call. Give it to Martez Waller, who has had a spectacular night tonight for the Bulldogs.
So with a 1-point advantage, Bulldogs will go for 2. Waller over 100 yards after that last scoring scamper. And a big play coming up here, Tom. Try to make it a field goal ball game.
Yeah, last time they went to Jameer Jordan. I thought that was a good. I thought it was a good move.
To the tight end, Chad Olson for 2. And the Bulldogs extend their lead to 3.
Well, you knew Fresno State, after we talked to them yesterday, they knew they were real close to lighting the fuse for their team. And I think the positive coaching, the good vibe in practice they put together all week, it has paid off for them tonight. And right there, Kilton Anderson, nice throw that time to Chad Olson, the tight end, just drag it underneath. He catches it twice, but you only get credit for 1 catch and 2 points. They convert it, make it a 3-point game. On the other side now, you got Tony Sanchez going, hey, we got to get the ball back, and we have to throw it down the field.
Trailing by 3. The Rebels with 2 timeouts to work with. We'll have it 1st and 10 from their 25. And the fans of this proud program spring to life for the first time. Whiteley in the backfield. Paladek. Into Fresno State territory, and Kirk Palandek turns on the Jets. Gain of 39 yards.
And does he have some jets? Wow, he extends the play, looks downfield, keeps his eyes downfield for a moment, and then they were in man coverage, so he sees it. He sees pretty much the Grand Canyon in front of him.
And the rain begins to come down here in the valley.
Almost on cue.
With time. And batted away at the last second. Camilli got his big mitt on it.
It's not a little bit of rain. And oh, by the way, Roy, did I tell you I invited you to California? It never rains in California. You knew that, right?
It's rained the whole time we've been here.
Wow, it is coming down.
And the sky's opening up as we speak. 2nd and 10.
Makes it a little difficult on the quarterback and receivers right now. They were not expecting this downpour.
Saw Bourdain getting loose, dump it off, down to the 30-yard line. That was the tight end, Andrew Price.
You've been playing with a dry ball all afternoon, all evening, and now all of a sudden, you kidding me, the last minute 45, it's a downpour.
Bourdain does have distance from this point. It's brought down in the backfield, a sack. And he'll lose 3.5 more.
It's a long kick.
Eder Aine with the sack, and a timeout will be called by Tony Sanchez.
I think he said, Kurt, you don't want to take a sack there. In oh so many words. But right there, Paladek's just trying to keep the play alive. And really, no one's open. They shut it down.
Anderson taking the lead on the 30-yard line.
UNLV, the third and final.
Anderson with another kneel down. Number 3, Coach Anderson.